Hi, I'm Dr. Jesse John, Assistant Professor, Department of Anatomy, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. And today we will discuss anatomy of prevertebral region. The prevertebral region of neck extends from first cervical vertebrae to the upper two thoracic vertebrae. The upper two thoracic vertebrae are included because they are visible in the background of the root of the neck due to forward slope of the superior thoracic aperture. The paravertebral region lies on front and either side of vertebra, extends from transfer process of the first cervical vertebra to the first rib. The root of neck is defined as the area of the neck immediately above the thoracic inlet. So we can see here in this picture the root of neck and the prevertebral region. Prevertebral muscles. The anterior vertebral muscles lies in front of the cervical part of the vertebral column. All of them are covered by prevertebral fascia and supplied by ventral rami of cervical nerves. They form the posterior boundary of the retropharyngeal space as a group. They flex the neck and the head of the neck. Anterior vertebral group of the muscle includes rectus capitis anterior, rectus capitis lateralis, and longus cervicis and longus capitis. Rectus capitis anterior, it arises from the anterior surface of the lateral mass of the atlas inserted on the inferior surface of the basio-occipital just in front of the occipital condyle. Rectus capitis lateralis, it arises from the upper surface of the transverse process of the atlas and inserted on the inferior surface of the jugular process of the occipital bone. Longus cervicis, this is the longest and medial of the prevertebral muscle. It extends from the anterior tubercle of the atlas to the anterior aspect of the third thoracic vertebra. The longus colli consists of three parts: upper oblique part, lower oblique part, and the middle vertical part. Upper oblique part arises from anterior tubercles of the transfer processes of C3, C4, C5 vertebra and inserted on the anterior arch of the atlas to the side of anterior tubercle. Middle vertical part arises from the front of the bodies of the upper three thoracic and lower three cervical vertebra, inserted on the front of the bodies of the second, third, fourth cervical vertebra. Inferior oblique part is smallest and it arises from front of bodies of the upper second or third thoracic vertebra and inserted onto the anterior tubercle of the transfer process of the fifth or sixth cervical vertebra. Now supply. The longest colli is supplied segmentally by branches from anterior primary rami of C2 to C6 spinal nerves. And action, it bends the neck forward. In addition, upper oblique part may flex the neck laterally and lower oblique part rotates the neck to the opposite part. Longus capitis, it arises from anterior tubercle of transfer process of C3, C4, C5, C6 vertebra corresponding to the origin of scalene anterior muscles and inserted on the inferior surface of the basilis part of the occipital bone along the side of pharyngeal tubercle. It is narrow below and thick above and overlap the longus colli muscles. Now supply the anterior primary rami of C1, C2, C3 spinal nerves and longus capitis flexes the head. Now we will discuss the paravertebral muscles, means lateral vertebral muscles. The paravertebral muscle extend from transverse processes of cervical vertebra to the upper two ribs. They can either elevate these ribs or bend the cervical part of the vertebral column laterally. The muscles form a thick mass behind the prevertebral fascia and supplied by twigs from ventral rami of the lower fifth or sixth cervical spinal nerves. Lateral vertebral group of muscle consists of scalene muscle. Scalene muscle usually three in number, that is follows scalenus posterior, scalenus medius, and scalenus anterior. And the scalenus medius the largest and scalenus posterior the smallest. Scalenus posterior it is smallest and most deeply situated, origin from posterior tubercle of the transfer process of C4, C5, 6 vertebra, and insertion on the outer surface of second rib behind the tubercle for serratus anterior. Now supply the ventral rami of the lower three cervical C6, C7, C8 spinal nerves. Action when the second rib is flexed, it bends the cervical vertebral column to the same side. When upper attachment is fixed, it has to elevate the second rib and thus acts as an accessory muscle of respiration. Scalenus medius, it is the longest and largest of all the scalenus muscles, origin from posterior tubercle of the transfer possessive of C to C6 cervical vertebra, insertion on the upper surface of the first rib between the tubercle of the rib and groove for subclavian artery. Now supply ventral rami of C3 to C8 spinal nerves. Action when first rib is flexed, it bends the neck to the same side. When upper end is fixed, it elevates the first rib and thus act as an accessory muscles of the respiration. Scalenus anterior, it is the most superficial and lies deep to the sternocleidomastoid muscle. It is the key muscle of the roof of the neck because of its intimate relation to many structures in this region. It provides useful surgical landmark. Origin from anterior tubercle of transfer possessive of C3, C4, C5 vertebra. Insertion inserted by a narrow flat tendon to the scalene tubercle on the inner border of the first rib and to the ridge on the upper surface of the rib anterior to the groove for the subclavian artery. Now supply biventral rami of C4, C5, C6 spinal nerves. Action acting from below it bends the neck forward and laterally and rotates it to the opposite side. Acting from above, it helps elevate the first rib and thus acts as an accessory muscle of the respiration. Relation of the scalene anterior muscle. The scalene anterior muscle forms an important landmark to the root of the neck because phrenic nerve passes superficial to it, subclavian artery deep to it, and branch brachial plexus lies at its lateral border. Therefore, the relation of scalenus anterior muscles are very important. Anterior relations, phrenic nerves, and two arteries. These are transverse cervical and suprascapular. And two veins. These are anterior jugular veins and subclavian veins. And two muscles. These are inferior belly of omphoid, omohyoid, and sternocleidomastoid, and carotid sheath that lies vertically in front of the muscles, and clavicle that crosses from medial to lateral side. Posterior relation relate to the roots of the brachial plexus, subclavian artery, and scalenus medius muscle and cervical pleura and suprapleural membrane. And other relation medial border of the scalenus anterior forms the lateral boundary of the scaleniovertebral triangle or triangle of the vertebral artery. And lateral border of scalenus anterior is related to trunks of the brachial plexus, and the upper part of the scalenus anterior is separated from longus capitis by ascending cervical artery. Now we will discuss the scalene triangle. It is a narrow triangular gap above the first rib between the scalenus anterior and scalenus medius, and the subclavian artery and brachial plexus pass through this space. Scalenovertebral triangle of vertebral artery. It is a deep placed triangular space at the root of the neck between the scalenus anterior laterally and longus colli. The cervical plexus and apex of lung projects upwards into the space. Boundaries, medial, lower oblique part of the longus colli, lateral medial border of scalenus anterior, apex transfer process of C6 vertebra, base first part of subclavian artery, and the flow is formed above downward by these transfer process of C7 vertebra, ventral ramus of C8, spinal nerves, neck of the first rib, and the cupula of the cervical pleura roof. It is formed by the carotid sheath. Contains first part of vertebral artery and accompanying veins, thyrocervical trunk, and inferior thyroid artery, sympathetic chain with stellate ganglion, thoracic tract, and ansa subclavia. And remaining part we will discuss another video, and keep studying. And if you have any problem, please let me know and I will resolve very soon. Thank you.